You absolutely need to get this if you have a dog. Trust me. It's like a real little person. I don't know if anybody else takes their pets this seriously. Oh well. Hey sweet friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Maylene Call from Mrs. Call's Campers. Today I am doing the teacher's pet tag, and the reason I'm starting this tag is because if you watch my channel, you know I have a dog named Tesla. I love her, she's my world, but I'm also a teacher, so I get a lot of questions from people who are wanting a pet and they're just not really sure about caring for it and whether or not it's a good choice for a teacher to have. So I decided that creating this tag full of teachers was a really great way to share and spread information, because we are teachers and we love information and sharing. So that being said, there is a full playlist for you guys of some teachers who have already participated in this tag. You can find that looking over to the left. It's down in the description box, and I'll link it for you in the I button right up here. But this is an open tag, so if you are a teacher who has a pet and you'd like to answer some of these questions and post your own video, the questions are down in the description box for you, and just make sure you use the hashtags listed there as well. So I hope these 13 questions help you decide whether or not a pet is a good choice for you right now, but keep in mind there's lots of other people, lots of other opinions, and I'm actually looking forward to watching all of these videos myself because I love my dog and I will do anything for her. So that being said, question number 1, how many pets do you have? And I have just one. Come here, come here. Hey! Question number 2 is, for each pet, tell the name, breed, age, and whether they are adopted from a breeder, etc. This is Tesla. She is a miniature Australian Shepherd. She is 2 years old and she is from a breeder. Question number 3 is, why did you choose your specific pet? And the reason that I chose Tesla is because I really wanted an Australian Shepherd. Truthfully, I really want a German Shepherd, but apartment living is not for a German Shepherd, and that's something that I considered. So I really loved the look of Australian Shepherds, and then I looked into it, and there are 3 different sizes technically that they come in. There's the toy, the miniature, which she is, and then the standard. I think the miniature is also called like American Shepherd or something like that. To me, the miniature size was more appealing than the toy size, because the smaller you get with breeds, the different face structures they have, I guess. And so while she's a miniature, she still has like a very dog face. She doesn't have like a toy puppy face, and that's what I wanted. I also chose her coloring. I really loved the way that Blue Merles looked. That's the style of her coloring. It's kind of gray looking, and she's got copper trim too, so I picked all that out. If I had been in a house, I would have gone with the standard size, but because me and my husband were living and are living in apartments right now, the miniature size, which gets up to like 25 pounds, is the perfect size. Question number 4 is, what time of year did you get your pet, and were you already teaching? I did get Tesla in May, and I was not teaching. I was actually in college. I think getting a dog in college can be a smart thing if you're living by yourself, you pay all your own bills, all of that, and you can afford to get a dog, and it's something you're going to be able to commit to, and you make the right choice about breeds. A lot of conditions there, but I'm really glad I got her when I did, even though she was a lot more expensive than I originally anticipated. But if you are a teacher who's going to get a dog, doing it during the summertime is a really, really good idea. Isn't it, Tesla? Question number 5 is, did you run into any challenges? And I didn't run into any challenges getting her. I got her from a breeder. I did my research and all of that. But I did run into some challenges after I had already had her. And most of those challenges came with kennel training. I actually wish I hadn't, but I gave up on kennel training, which is not something that I recommend you do. I recommend you just stick with it, even though it's hard, even though you feel bad. I ended up trying to leave her in the bathroom or in our hallway kitchen with baby gates, and of course she climbed over those and she would get things and eat them, which was my fault because she had access to those things, even though there was a baby gate there. So I really recommend that you stick with kennel training. Other than that, we haven't really had any challenges or issues with her. There were some gut issues. Other than that, we really didn't run into any challenges. Question number 6 is, did you get your pet professionally trained? And I did not. My husband and I do plan on getting a German Shepherd, and when we do, I think that is something that we're going to do. But with Tesla, I trained her all by myself. So yeah. I think a lot of people can get intimidated by training their own pet sometimes and just not know like the best way to do it. So I have a tip for you towards the end of the video. Question number 7 is, what is your current routine with your pets? And our routine during summer is different than our routine during the school year, just because I get a lot more time with her. If you guys saw my morning routine video, which if you haven't, I'll link it for you right up here, you kind of saw what our mornings look like together, just a typical feeding, playing, and walking. And all of those things are very essential, especially the feeding part. But playing with your dog is really important, especially if you're going to be at a job where you're gone all day. You want to get them as much exercise before you go as possible, and of course walking your dog. Tesla's usually pretty good about using the potty while I'm not at school. I do leave puppy pads out just because I'm not trying to risk it. So as soon as I come home, she gets to go out. But there are alternative services you can use. So there's like dog walking services if you're going to be at school for a really long time, or if you have a significant other who can take them out when you're not there. Or like I said, there's always the puppy pad option if you have long days at school, it's the hardest part of owning a pet and being a teacher, because we can spend a lot of time in our classrooms and it's not fair to your pup. So having a dog makes it a little bit easier not to stay at school all hours. Are you trying to get away? Okay, I'll give you a break. Our routines in the nighttime are pretty similar. I'll play with her, walk her. Well, you want to get up now? But she gets a lot more play at night than she does in the morning, obviously, because I have more time. Dog parks are a really good idea. If you live in an apartment complex, a lot of them do have dog parks or dog spaces where you can go and let your dog run around, or even just walking them around your complex or going to a park somewhere else. All right, now we are getting into the fun questions. Question number 8 is, what are your pet must-haves? So my number 1 must-have, and this is a recent one, you guys, but you absolutely need to get this if you have a dog, trust me, and it is probiotics. Probiotics, you can buy them at PetSmart for $20. I have the powdered version, so she gets like the tiniest amount every single day with her food. And the reason that I started using these was graphic content warning, okay? Tesla was having some puppy poop issues, and it happens to dogs all the time, whether or not they get into the trash, whether or not they eat something outside, or somebody gives them human food and their little tummies can't handle it. But puppies can have tummy issues, and you never really know what it can be, so it is always safe to go to your vet. But my vet did tell me that if your dog is acting totally normal, like they're eating fine and everything, it's just their puppy poops that are not looking the best, they're probably okay. Like if their behavior other than like their poops is totally normal, they're probably gonna be okay. So my vet did of course check her for, you know, all of the things, and then he gave her like fluids of some sort, but what he also gave her were packets of probiotics, and I was sure that this is what helped her poops become normal again. Sorry, never thought I'd be talking about dog poop on this channel. Here we are. So not too long ago, Tesla was actually having the same kind of issue, and to save myself like $100+ by going to the vet, I decided to go ahead and pick up some probiotics and see how she felt after a couple of days. Bye. I noticed a difference in her health. After 1 day, after 2 days, I was like, okay, we're good. And after 3 days, everything was back to normal. So now I give her just a little bit of probiotics with every meal at dinner time. I'm telling you guys, you need to get this for your dog. You need to do it. My next item is a harness. Most of us know that harnesses are better for dogs than collars when you're walking them. But this harness in particular, I got it off of Amazon. It's incredible. Okay, you guys. So normally you have to put in the dog's like feet and like work with it and all of that, but this harness is literally so easy. They literally just have to like slip their head in. It is the easiest harness in the world. You'll thank me later. It's amazing. My next must-have are brushes, and I have a lot of different brushes and combs for Tesla because she is a long-haired dog and she definitely does shed. So to help that, I have to brush her pretty much every single day. So I have a comb for her. I also have a soft bristle brush for her, as well as a de-shedding brush, and then I also have a de-matting brush because dogs with long hair can be prone to matting, especially behind their ears. That's where Tesla tends to get them, and then kind of on the back of her legs. So getting this is really, really easy because it doesn't hurt the dog when you take out those little mats. And anytime I brush her, I always use this pet deodorant on her. I found that it makes her just smell fresh because you're not supposed to bathe dogs that often. It's like a pet body first spray in a way. It just makes her smell really good and really refreshed. It's also really nice to do if you have guests or somebody coming over, give her a little spray. That way she doesn't smell like dog, because I have a dog and I still hate the way dogs smell. So, and speaking of fur, you guys, Instagram got me on this one. I literally saw an ad and I was like, I don't care if it works or not, I have to try it. So this is the fur slayer that I bought from Instagram. They sell like items like it on Amazon, but I didn't know that at the time. Otherwise, I probably would have went through Amazon and not had to wait weeks and weeks to get it. But it is the best thing ever. If you have a dog who sheds, this picks up fur like no other. You do not need a sticky lint roller or like any other contraption that you might be trying. You need this. I'm telling you, best investment ever. The next couple of items are items that are really helpful when you are training your dog. So first and foremost, I recommend Zach George. He has a YouTube channel. I absolutely loved his videos. I watched just about every single video before I got Tesla, and then watched them again while I was training Tesla. And I also bought his book because I was serious. So I definitely recommend him as your resource for that. There are a couple of other items that I recommend while you're training your dog. Definitely a long leash, 40 or 50 foot leash for training. A really long leash like that is gonna come in handy more often than you would think. It's always a really, really good thing to have. The next is clickers. Clickers are like the secret to training, I think. Next is a potty bell. This is something that I had kind of looked into because I lived in a 2-story apartment at the time, and I really wanted to be able to hear Tesla whenever she needed to go out. And once I taught her how to use a potty bell, she did it every single time without fail. In our new apartment, I don't have the potty bell hooked up anymore because she pretty much gets the hang of it, and she will just come and sit in front of me if she has to go outside, which is really nice. Or she'll like paw at the door or at like the balcony door, which makes no sense. My last must-have is a camera. I'm that dog owner. Getting a camera was a really, really good choice for me because at the time Tesla was really, really small and she was climbing over the baby gate, and I decided, you know what, fine, I'm just gonna give you full reign of my house, which in hindsight, like I said, was not a good idea. I should have just stuck with kennel training, but I didn't. But whether or not you have a puppy in a kennel, a puppy in a playpen, a puppy in your house, which again, don't recommend, or you have a fully grown dog in your house, getting a camera is really, really helpful. I found that most of the time she just slept. It was the kind of camera that I could check on her through the app on my phone, which is really convenient. But yeah, so if you're like me and are that pet owner, getting a camera is a really good idea. Question number 9 is, what are your pet's favorites? Tesla is obsessed with these hedgehogs, you guys. Oh my goodness, she freaking loves these hedgehogs. I think they have like a duck noise in them, and that's probably what she finds so appealing. But we have gone through so many of these toys because she loves them, but she also can take the stuffing out of them. But I just love seeing her happy, so I buy them for her over and over again. They come in all different sizes. We actually keep the skin of the pet, so like after she takes all the stuffing out, she still likes to play with like the carcass of it. So I don't know, that probably sounds weird, but she loves her hedgehogs. Another thing that she loves are puzzle toys. So her favorite are these little like animal hiding toys. So she has chipmunks in a log and squirrels in a log, and she loves to take the little squirrels out of the log and figure it out. And she also has another pet toy that's more like a true puzzle. Like she has to figure out how to get things out of the little containers, and she has a lot of fun with it. I usually just put her food in it and that will be one of her meals, but she has to figure out how to get it, and she loves it. She also is obsessed with ice cubes. I'm telling you guys, like, I don't buy her treats. Very rarely do we have treats for her. In the beginning when we were training her, we did a lot more, but you really don't have to. You can use things like her own food to train them. But she really loves ice cubes, and she'll do pretty much anything for one. She also really loves carrots. That's also a really easy thing that I can give her that's not gonna hurt her, be bad for her like a treat might. So carrots are a really good idea to try with your dog as well. Tesla also loves running water. I don't know if anybody else's dog is like this. There were months that went by where she was obsessed with the shower, to the point where I couldn't shower without her barking because she wasn't allowed in there. There was a very long period of time, I'm telling you, like almost a year, where if I turned my shower on, no matter where she was, she came bolting to try to like eat the shower water. She would like bite at it, and now she's playing with a toy. Now she's better, and I can leave my door open and she will stay outside of the bathroom, and she will not attack the water unless she knows it's for her. If I turn on the bathtub in her bathroom, she knows it's for her and she'll go do that. So I don't care. The last thing my dog loves is cuddling, and I'm telling you guys, she is such a stinking cuddle bug. And she also, like, if you start petting her, she is not going to let you stop petting her, because she will like nudge her way under your hand and like force you to pet her. Yeah. Question number 10 is to show a baby picture and the last picture you took of them. So this is a baby picture of Tesla. She was the cutest little pup. I was absolutely obsessed with her. She has an Instagram. If you want to follow her, she is at the Tesla Diaries on Instagram. And yeah, you'll find lots of other cute baby pics there. And the last picture I took of her, I'm not sure what it is right now, but I'll put it right here for you. Question number 11 was share a funny memory or something quirky about your pet. And I feel like Tesla has like a million quirky little things, but there's one story that I always love sharing, and if you thought I was done talking about poop, you're wrong, because her very first poop, it was on a puppy pad, said "I heart you," and y'all, I'm not gonna post a picture of it, but it was so cute. She literally pooped out "I heart you." She's honestly such a weird dog, but you know what they say about dogs taking after their owners, so. Question number 12, which isn't really a question, is show off your pet. So here you go. Good job. The last question number 13, is what would you say to a teacher wanting their first pet? So I'm going to give you my top 5 tips for people who are wanting a pet, especially teachers. My first piece of advice, I'm just being real with y'all, really consider whether you have the time and the money to get a pet. There's obviously a ton of different factors that go into the money portion, like whether or not you're adopting or getting them from a breeder. But even after the initial first, cost of your pet, there is still vet visits for the rest of their life. There is still everything you need to take care of them. There's still unexpected things that can just come up. There's still the medications that they need every month. There's, spaying and neutering. There are so many things that happen, and the cost can get really, really high really, really quick. As far as time goes, it's really important that you get your pet at a time that is really right for you, when you can spend as much time as possible with your pet, investing in, their training and all of that. And I mean, they take a lot of time from you, especially in the beginning. I remember me and my husband would be sleeping upstairs and she would be downstairs in her kennel crying every couple of hours so we could let her use the bathroom. Little puppies have to use the bathroom every 20 or 30 minutes. Like, it is no joke, you guys. It's like a real little person. Number 2 is to do research on the breed of pet that you're buying. So whether it's a cat, whether it's a dog, do your research, look at videos on that specific animal, get as much information as you can beforehand, because the last thing you want is to get an animal and decide, hey, this one isn't really right for me. So like I said, I am in an apartment, and I have been in apartments, and so I knew that getting a big dog, as much as I wanted one, it just wasn't going to be for me. So make sure you pick a breed that is right for you. Number 3 is to decide on your house rules and your schedules, all of those things, because you need to be so consistent when you get your dog. Whether or not you're getting a puppy or a full-grown dog, you still need to teach them the rules of your house. And especially when they're little. So for me personally, Tesla is not allowed in our bedroom when we are sleeping. So whenever we get ready for bed, she has her own bed, she has her own space that she goes to. She's not allowed in our room. And that was just a choice that I wanted to make. So I'm not the kind of person who sleeps with their dogs. If you decide you're not that kind of person either, don't sleep with them when they're a puppy. You just have to be consistent. If you are not going to give your dog table scraps, which you shouldn't, don't make it a habit to give your dog little pieces here and there of whatever they can technically eat, because then your dog knows that that's something they're gonna get. These are very smart creatures. You have to be consistent. So from the second you get them, make sure that you set those routines and those rules in place. That way they know this is acceptable, this is not acceptable. It really sounds like I'm talking about a kid. Yeah. I don't know if anybody else takes their pets this seriously. Oh well. Number 4 is to start training early. You can start training your dog the week you get them. There are very basic things you can do. And like I said, I used Zach George as a huge resource for me. But when I started training Tesla, I of course used clickers, I used treats or her dog food, and I also used hand signals. So this means sit, this means down, and she has like spin, jump, roll over. She knows the signals for all of it, and it's really, really helpful. Now I don't have to say the command anymore. I can just do the hand signal, which is really cool in my opinion. But start training early. Big tip. My last piece of advice, number 5, is to give your pet a variety of toys and give them a lot of them, especially when they're in that puppy phase, especially when they are teething. They love frozen toys. Give them hard toys, give them soft toys, give them plush toys, give them toys with different squeakers, give them different, antlers and things like that. I recommend antlers over like regular bones, but that's just me. And you want your pup to have all of these different textures and options, because it is going to keep them from chewing on your things. If your pup is chewing on your hard furniture, get them a toy that is going to fill that need for them. So they obviously want something hard. A lot of people will use that bitter spray that you can spray on things, and that's obviously an option. But what I did was anytime Tesla would chew on something hard, I would give her an antler instead. So kind of swapping that out so she understood what she was allowed to chew on and was not allowed to chew on. So it's really important to give your pet as many options as possible when it comes to toys and things like that. All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope this video was helpful to you. Make sure you check out all the other teachers in this tag. Remember, you are also welcome to do this tag. Just make sure you check the description box for details, and let me know in the comment section all about your pet, what you found most interesting, or if you still have any other questions, just let me know. Bye! I'm bringing you clothes for this one. This is the number 1 thing you need to teach your dog. Leave it. Okay, get it. Orchestra. Open. Ostrich. Okay. Bag. Bag. Good bag, Tesla. Sit. Bag.